Ever crossed your mind how dreadful desertification can be? Every year, hundreds of square kilometers of land in China that could be used for agriculture is lost to the march of desertification. It's a task on a scale that has never been seen before and is enormous. The rate of desertification accelerated over the second half of the 20th century. Even though this trend has leveled off in recent decades, the situation is still extremely precarious. Stay tuned to learn more about the desertification. How does desertification happen? Deserts do not naturally get larger through desertification. Natural deserts are not even required to be near regions where desertification occurs. Instead of existing deserts expanding, desertification is a type of land degradation brought on by ineffective dryland management. This indicates that the degradation is mainly brought on by human land use practices, which disrupt natural ecosystems, and as a result, the cycles of precipitation in arid and semi-arid regions like regions of the Gobi Desert. Lands prone to desertification turn into deserts because their soil gets poorer, drier, and less able to support plant growth. Topsoil, the most fertile soil layer, is lost very quickly due to desertification since no vegetation can shield it from wind or rain. Essential soil nutrients from organic matter are lost when topsoil is removed. The soil then loses its structure and capacity to sustain soil fauna and plant life. It dries out and hardens, making it harder for any subsequent rain to seep below the surface. Rainwater runs off instead of keeping soils moist and recharging groundwater reservoirs when it cannot penetrate deeper soil layers. As you can expect, this marks the area drier. Even the most drought-resistant plants eventually die as the situation deteriorates, exposing the arid terrain to total deterioration. Why is desertification such a huge problem? The demand for resources and nutrients from the Earth's land surface grows along with the human population. However, as the strain increases, some regions falter as resources are depleted and the last of the land's fertility is sucked. Our process keeps happening more quickly and faster. Failing areas become more extensive and so does our population, but the amount of land we have access to on this planet stays the same. That sounds wrong. The World Economic Forum estimates that land degradation will lower the global food supply by 12% in the following years, resulting in an up to 30% increase in food costs. Due to the vulnerability of 40% of the Earth's surface to land deterioration, desertification is an issue. The land degradation that renders a piece of land dead includes its inability to store carbon from the atmosphere, control the water cycle, survive unpredictable weather, feed us, defend us, or provide a habitat for other living forms. Therefore, everything that is necessary for our health and life, as well as everything that makes us happy, could be destroyed by desertification. Considering that irresponsible land management is what first caused the issue, it's in our own best interest to take action to stop desertification. How do we curb desertification? Over 25% of China's land is desert, indicating that desertification has significantly impacted the country. The problem is caused by a combination of environmental and human factors, but climate change worsens. The government has come up with methods of reducing the desert-like conditions in the national. Number 1. Fixing dunes and the restoration of vegetation. The research centers as scientists are working to develop a cost-effective, long-lasting solution to stop wind erosion. A straw checkerboard around 1 square meter in size was produced using this technique. It was anchored in the sand of the desert. The straws serve as a windbreak that keeps the sand in place. It had encouraging results in experimental settings, so the government decided to expand it. Locals in Zhongwei, Ningxia, were thrilled when researchers from SDRES first approached them about starting a pilot project to combat desertification. Farmers believed that the researchers would aid in reviving the fields' fertility. Additionally, they requested assistance moving water from the Yellow River to farmland. Land degradation drove hundreds of farmers to migrate in the 1950s. They felt hopeful when scientists contacted them. It required some work to convince farmers that stopping the sand flow rather than expanding agriculture was an urgent necessity. Communities finally consented to participate in the anti-desertification pilot initiative after some effort. To create straw checkerboards, they even assisted scientists in obtaining agricultural waste. Traditional sand control knowledge workers eagerly worked with scientists in the fight against desertification. Farmers also helped scientists gather enough wheat and rice straw to create a checkerboard pattern measuring 1 square meter, which was then placed along the entire length of the railway. All those years of laboriously laying checkerboards along the rails paid off. In 1990, the once eroded railway line was finally restored to its original condition. It marked its 60th anniversary of founding last year. Straw checkerboards needed a lot of labor. Working in pairs, a woman places the straw in the sand and a man uses a shovel to press the straw's cut end into the sand. Creating a portable instrument has reduced labor costs by 50% while increasing survival rates by 20%. To make the barrier to the city and essential infrastructures such as railway and highways, more than 21,333 hectares of the desert have been covered by this network of straw checkerboards, and 3,333 hectares of grass and bushes have been planted. The city's tourism business is flourishing as people from all across China travel there to view and experience the desert. Number 2. Creating the Wall of China. The Chinese government spends billions of dollars annually to fight the spread of desertification. The goal of the Chinese government's most ambitious environmental initiative, known as the Green Wall of China, was to increase the proportion of the vast area covered by trees produced by humans from 5 to 15%. It is anticipated that by the year 2050, these forests will cover a total area of 4 million square kilometers in the northern portion of the nation. It is said that China plants new trees and takes care of the ones it already has, thereby reforesting an area each year that is larger than Switzerland and bringing back to life between 40,000 and 70,000 square kilometers of land that had become desertified. Number 3. Controlling the number of herds being grazed. Tan sheep, native to Yanqi, are renowned for their luxurious fleece and succulent meat, both of which they produce. However, excessive grazing was a primary factor in the deterioration of land and the development of deserts. The sheep are currently being confined in corrals. Farmers were provided financial assistance for the construction of sheep sheds and benefited from improving roads and other fundamental infrastructure. Farmers were helped to appreciate the importance of keeping their sheep off the degraded land through the use of information campaigns that were carried out. As a direct consequence, the percentage of land covered by trees has increased by 2%, and the average number of dusty days in a year has dropped by 11 days. Additionally, there is a rise in biodiversity. According to Shen Zidong, a deputy director at the Yanqi County Environment and Forestry Department, certain multi-year pasture grasses have reappeared. Have desertification resolution methods aided the people? Desertification prevention has increased local employment and revenue. Wang Wenqing is a farmer in Xiaotan village who, like many of his neighbors, grows and sells desert chives to places as far as Beijing, Shanghai and Guangzhou. Sheep and goats can thrive on Karagana, a prominent sand-fixing shrub species that require frequent pruning. It is high in protein and can be eaten raw, chopped and fermented. Sheep breed more when they consume Karagana-based fodder, said Zhao Yanji, president of local farmers cooperative that operates a feedstock company. He anticipates a growing demand for Karagana in 2019, so he will increase output accordingly. Job prospects are high for those who can make a living selling straw checkerboards. In the previous 6 years, we recruited roughly 700 to 800 farmers to make straw checkerboards every day from May to August, paying a total salary of over 70 million yuan, and also spent 16 million yuan on buying straws from farmers. Tang Ximing, head of Zhongwei's project management office, said. The sale of straw checkerboards is a source of income for sure farmers. Not only do they have a presence in Ningxia but also in Inner Mongolia, Shaanxi, Xinjiang and Gansu. Watermelons grown in Zhongwei are a crucial source of income for local farmers because of their high selenium content and widespread popularity. However, after a few years of cultivation, the soil quality and the gravel-mulched watermelon field declines. In response, the project assisted farmers in transitioning to wolfberry and calcium fruit, a cherry-like fruit that is high in calcium and grows well in dry, sandy soil. The initial cost of growing calcium fruit is low and the plant requires little maintenance. Calcified fruit can be harvested in 150 kilos from just 1 mu. Wang Shuibao, a farmer from the village of Luoquan who cultivates 4 hectares of calcium fruit, said, "At 6 yuan per kilogram, I can make around 1,000 yuan for every mu. The bush also stores water, reduces soil erosion and enhances environmental quality." We've come to the end of today's video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment. Thanks for listening.